Online learning is not fun, but we've got to get through it one way or another. Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. My name is Amoy and welcome back to my channel. And today I thought I'd make a video on tips for online learning. I did film one of these like last year. However, at the time I wasn't really doing online learning, so I was just kind of like assuming what would be needed. But now that I've been doing online learning for like 4 months now, however long it's been since like last October, I've definitely learned some things, like done some like trial and error, so I thought I'd share some of that with you today. Lots of you out there are probably, doing like Zoom University or Zoom Secondary School. I've been doing Microsoft Teams Uni, and I'd never heard of Microsoft Teams before, the whole current climate. And I think I know it a little bit too well now. So that has been not fun. So I've just put together like 5 tips I think would be really useful for online learning and just kind of staying balanced in this current climate. Anyways, enough of me waffling, let's get into it. So the first thing I would highly recommend is to have breakfast slash meals slash snacks throughout your learning day. This really makes a big difference because I find that when I don't eat before I have a seminar, I just spend the entire seminar thinking, oh my god, I'm so hungry, wish I had something to eat, and then I'm not paying attention to the seminar, and then I've basically just wasted an hour sitting in front of a laptop screen just listening to people talk but not actually understanding what they're saying. So yeah, it doesn't really, it kind of does matter what you eat. Like, eat something that will, keep you awake, keep you energized, drink lots of water. It really makes a difference, so I would recommend that. And also going along with that would be being out of bed in time to have something to eat before like your first lesson or seminar or whatever it is that you have online. It really does make a difference, so I highly recommend that. Second tip I have for you is to turn your camera on. Now, this is something that I did not do a lot of in first term. I was just like, I don't want to be seen today, I'm just going to turn my camera off. But the whole thing of turning your camera off just kind of makes you like devoid of accountability, and you just kind of end up doing anything apart from paying attention to your lesson. I'm speaking from experience. So in second term, I've like had my camera on like a lot more, and I've found that I'm actually getting more out of the seminars because I'm basically forced to pay attention to everyone, because if I'm not paying attention, people will be able to see me and I don't know whose screen I'm on, and I'm like, I don't want that embarrassment today. But yeah, it really does make a huge difference, and it might even like encourage you to contribute more. I don't really contribute that much in my seminars, but at least I'm taking in the knowledge, I'm like making notes, which is a lot more than I was doing in first term, where I would just have my camera off and like clean my room whilst the seminar was going on. The third thing that I would highly recommend for online learning would be to do your class prep or seminar prep beforehand. This really makes a big difference, because the thing with it being in person, you can like kind of gauge it face to face, you can have like small conversations with people and get a grip on what you're learning. But with online learning, everyone's in their separate houses, and it really just depends on people having done the work, so that you're not just all sitting there in awkward silence staring at the screen, wondering who's going to speak. So yeah, I would say doing the prep beforehand not only allows you to understand the topic you're studying more, but it also kind of saves the kind of awkward silences, especially if you're in a breakout room. There is really nothing more awkward than being in a breakout room with people who know what they're talking about, and then being the only one who doesn't know what they're talking about, because it just becomes very obvious and it's just so awkward, and I don't like that feeling. The fourth tip is so important, and I can't stress this enough, but that is to take breaks in between your classes. So I only have like 4 seminars during the week, but on one of the days I have a seminar at 12 and then a seminar at 2, so I kind of just have an hour in between. And before I used to like, kind of do work in that time, but then I'd find I'd be really drained by the time it got to my second seminar. So now in that hour I just like have lunch, I just like chill out and do nothing, recollect, and then go to my second seminar. and it really makes a difference because online learning puts like such a strain like on your eyes. You're like sitting up for like an hour, 2 hours, and it can be really difficult. So I would say after you have a lesson or a class, take a break, drink some water, maybe step outside, have a snack, do anything that isn't academic or anything that isn't related to the task you'd be doing online. It really makes a difference. And finally, the last tip I have would be to write a to-do list slash keep a planner so that you know what you have to do. I find that if you just kind of wake up and just kind of be like, okay, what am I doing today? I'm just gonna wing it. Those days tend to be like less productive, but also kind of more stressful because you don't really have an idea of what you're meant to do. So even if it's like the night before or in the morning, you just write down a list of the things you have the next day and things you want to get done the next day, and it really helps to like plan your time around that. And I just find it makes the whole thing less stressful because even though we don't have to leave our houses anymore to like go to lessons or go to seminars, we still have things that we need to do, and doing it from home can be so stressful. So I would say just writing a list of like your lessons the next day, planning times to take breaks, and planning like times to eat and just other tasks you have to do can really decrease that stress. And obviously ticking off as you go along as well is such a satisfying feeling. Anyways guys, that is all of the tips I have today for online learning. These are just kind of the main things I've really learned whilst doing online learning. Again, it's not easy, like be easy on yourself. If you can't do all of these things, or if some days you do less of these things, that is absolutely fine. Do what works for you. These are just some things I've learned that I've like kind of realised can really enhance the online learning experience, despite online learning not being very fun at all. Feel free to comment what you've learned by doing online learning, if there's anything you found to be particularly helpful. I would love to know because online learning really gets to me sometimes. Other than that, have a nice day.